Insert the rush.
Exactly. Here, wait. Now, I'll check it. So, I think we're probably live right now.
I think we're live.
Okay.
Right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weekly upload. The moment has finally happened. Lisa Crawford, thank you so much, head of marketing for Bent Pixels, for joining us.
Finally, I'm not a disembodied voice from behind the camera anymore.
Yeah. Well,
It's the reveal.
This is a big reveal for us. I'm actually going to check your framing too now.
We're kind of obsessed with camera work here, Sam and I. We have a little bit of a background in film production.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure the shot is framed up right, otherwise we'll beat ourselves up.
Yes.
So, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, how's it going?
Kevin's going to be behind the camera today. We're switching out.
Yeah, we're swapping out. So we have a bunch of different stories that we're going to cover today, and it's going to be Instagram, YouTube, as well as some updates about Cartoon Network.
Nice.
Now, I don't know, Lisa, if you watch a lot of Cartoon Network currently.
I currently don't.
Okay.
But I enjoy a good animated program.
There you go. Well, we're going to be addressing all that stuff. And as always, if you're watching this stream and you want to get new weekly updates, we're changing to Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific, what's PDT?
Pacific Daytime?
Something like
I
that.
don't know. There's daylight savings time in there. It's confusing.
Yeah, I'm not here to confuse people. We're here to illuminate people. So, Lisa, I'm just going to kind of start at the top of the list and run our way
tell
down.
me what we're talking about today.
So, Instagram lets you now send photo and video DMs from your PC. Users can send photo and video as direct messages from your desktop using the Windows 10 app. There's also an option to reply to conversations you've initiated through this interface with more photos or just text. And another new feature is the ability to reply to DMs with photos and videos from a PC.
That's handy.
Yeah, so this kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, I don't know, like an advanced version of AIM almost. Like,
AIM.
Yeah,
it's a deep cut.
I know. I was listening to a podcast recently where, like, they were getting very sentimental about AIM and how it's like, oh, you remember when you used to have, like, the stick figure things? Or you used to, like...
Do we have to explain that to the kids out there? We might have to. We're talking about AOL Instant Messenger, which was big in, what, the 90s?
Yes.
Yes.
They were very big in the 90s, mid-90s, back in the mid-90s. And so it was one of the first majorly popular messaging apps. I don't even know, I mean, we call it an app now, but it was just a program, something you had to download off the internet, off the browser. And I think that, Instagram's been such a mobile-focused thing, obviously. So doing something where you can utilize stuff on desktop, I almost wonder if it's like trying to be, just the most ubiquitous messaging service. Do you use Instagram a lot in your day-to-day, Elise?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
I do some scrolling. I check out what photos people have, but I'm not a huge user.
I'm a lurker more than I'm a user
totally.
as well.
Yes.
But I think that has more to do with, like, my particular friend group and up until recently what my profession was. People that are filmmakers, they take photos. I'm sure they're pretty excited about this stuff. Also about, like custom creation, making things on your laptop, and just making it easier to share. I know for a fact, too, that certain social apps like Epoxy, like in order to like link up your Instagram account, because the Epoxy allows you to manage like multiple socials at once.
Right,
and
the Pixels creators have that.
Exactly,
that.
on their desktop. That was a really good callback.
Yeah, you like that plug?
I like that. So I remember it used to be like this really big workaround where you had to like email yourself GIFs or email yourself like videos that you could like upload it from the mobile. But with something like this, I think Epoxy will evolve so that's similar to like how you can post a tweet and do all your tweeting from your desktop as well. So that's a big update for us. But speaking of having a phone in your hands, and we're streaming right now through Facebook, but if you're interested in doing YouTube mobile streaming, you had to have a certain threshold. Yeah. Well, the bar's been lowered. But for the better, you only need 1,000 subscribers now to live stream from YouTube.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
We should try it sometime.
Should we? Must we?
I think so.
I think we must.
Got to spread the love between the platforms. We love YouTube.
Exactly. YouTube. And you know what? YouTube is going to place a certain priority on that live stream.
Sure.
They want to make sure that people are engaging on that platform, that they're using all the different tools. I see a lot of bigger creators getting beta access to the community tools.
Sure.
That's pretty exciting. So I think this is kind of all hand in hand, right? Like in the same way that you should be flexible on your Facebook page to live stream immediately, I think YouTube's trying to say like, well, we got it too.
Yep, absolutely.
Previously, only channels with at least 10,000 subscribers could access mobile live streaming. All they have to do is confirm that your channel is verified and have no live stream restrictions in the last 90 days. Essentially, copyright strike or any other kind of encumbrance. But yeah, we should definitely be doing more YouTube-specific live streaming, I think. And, you know, it's another question, too, of people that stream from Twitch already or that communicate with their fans on Facebook. It's just kind of funny, like, you have 3 different options. You know, is it possible that you do 3 different types of streams, you know, depending on your audience?
I mean, it makes sense because different people go to the platforms expecting different types of content.
Right.
So it's like you have to spread the love, do something a little different.
I have noticed that with one of our bigger clients that I don't know how large of a crossover there is between, this is an individual that has a lot of followers on Facebook and not so much on YouTube, even though it's still significant on YouTube. So I always kind of think about the, you know, people that go to the YouTube over going to the Facebook, and they always ask like, well, where does he stream from? You know, so just something to consider in the future. And then finally, Lisa, this is personally exciting to me, and I have a little bit of insight on this. Cartoon Network looks beyond TV, launching games and shows simultaneously for its properties. According to Adweek, Cartoon Network now creating multi-platform experiences. You know that great buzzword.
Sure.
Usually including a tie-in or mobile game or console game for all of its new series. So they have 13 shows, 6 new, 7 returning, lined up with more than 20 mobile and console games to better reach its kid audience. They already have over 44 digital and mobile apps that reach an audience of like 150 million people.
That's exciting. I've
known for a while that Cartoon Network has been at the forefront of doing a lot of digital stuff, also from the Adult Swim angle. And I know that so this is a story from Adweek. The executive that they quote too is also heads up Boomerang, which is their nostalgia arm, and then Adult Swim, their adult arm, and then Cartoon Network proper. And Adult Swim games, for example, has always been really like a talking point for older fans. And I know that back when I was growing up in the 90s, that like Disney Afternoon, they had a bunch of licensed games from Capcom that would come out on the Nintendo. And that was like a given. You know, you'd have a cartoon, boom, tie-in game. And somebody noted this recently on a podcast where Marvel movies have not a lot of like tie-in video games besides mobile apps where it's like just mobile interaction.
Yeah. So here's an important question.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a Rick and Morty game?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
There already has been one Rick and Morty game.
I don't know these things.
No, that's okay. Pocket Mortys.
Okay, but also this week, did you hear that this first episode of Season 3 of Rick and Morty dropped on April Fool's Day?
Yes.
And it was a big surprise.
It was a surprise.
It was for real.
It was a legit thing.
Yeah.
They preempted programming for like 6 hours or something like that.
I guess so.
That was amazing. Yeah, it was. I didn't get a chance to see it. I was running errands on April 1st.
That's very adult of you.
I was very adult.
#adulting.
#adulting. Well, do you think, Lisa, that, and this is kind of like the bigger one, I think, that I want to talk about for a moment, is brands and properties that want to launch like apps and games alongside things. Do you think that this is just like a reality, not just for kids' entertainment, but for stuff in general? Like that you can't just have a television program, that you should do these other things? What do you think?
I think so. I mean, I think that that's the holy grail of IP creation, is to be able to have a TV show and a game and entire experiences and worlds around, characters or actual story worlds that you've created, right? I have kind of a nerd background, and there's a term for that. We call it transmedia.
Yeah.
Right? When you do a communication study and you say, okay, this little, like, for example, the Los Pollos Hermanos pop-up shops that they have now to advertise Better Call Saul in the Breaking Bad universe. That's a good example of transmedia. So if you have that, you have games, you have that's the dream, I think.
To me it's about the fact that the expectation of the penetration of your show goes beyond trying to get people to show up and watch it. It's also about are people talking enough about your show?
Yeah.
And for like premium services like HBO, I know that like social buzz is something that they actively monitor. They're looking to see, are people even talking about it? Because
Sure.
engagement, whether that is like fan engagement of just a very vocal audience, or if it's like awards recognition, like all of these things are kind of being, I think, put together.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right, when you look at like a pop-up store, that's like a very physical media example. But for kids' entertainment, it makes sense why you'd want to have apps and mobile games. I think that console games, from like a traditional video game standpoint, is something that I always want to see more of. And that's why I brought up the Marvel example, because you'd have a new Marvel movie coming out, and like, why isn't there a giant AAA video game associated with that property? Because you know that it's going to make money. And I think that when you think about different corporate priorities, right? But like Disney might look at that and go, well, we can just develop this one mobile game and try and like do this other part. Another video game insight is when Nintendo was coming out with Amiibos, they were doing it as a response to the Toys to Life thing that Skylanders was doing very, very effectively. And then Disney had that for a while with their own line of like Toys to Life, which I think they've discontinued since.
Okay.
But they're at least trying to experiment, and I hope that this Cartoon Network stuff takes off, because, you know, the video games, like I mentioned, Pocket Mortys, this is a direct parody of like Pokemon, where essentially Rick just had a bunch of alternate dimension Mortys, and then they just fight each other. So it's like clean dressed Morty with a sock on his head, like fighting each other. But that appealed to like a different subsect of people that might have. I mean, the majority of like nerdy fans with like Rick and Morty anyway, but like this is just another way of like refracting that, you know, and like doing something different with it, attracting an audience that you wouldn't normally think would be attracted to it.
For sure, and you can keep people engaged even when you don't have a new season out, right? So
Yeah,
people
that's
are
true.
waiting around for new episodes. They need material to keep them going in their fandom.
That's true, and also like when you have, and you know, they even do comic books too. Honestly, that like the writers, like staff writers from Rick and Morty, which is cool, like from an entertainment standpoint, a writer standpoint, like we both are, where it's like you staff writer on a show, then you can end up writing for the comic book, or you end up writing the script for the video game. So like you can continue to produce stuff that is more yours, you know, even outside of it. So I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting. Beyond animated properties, we want to know, are there other shows, programs, things that you think should take greater advantage of the fact that let's get some transmedia going? Is there a property that you think needs more games involved or more apps involved or something creative? I know also too Patriot, the Amazon video show, that I've watched a few episodes of that. It's really, really funny. I don't know if the ads portray it exactly correctly, but the game does. There's like this mobile, I think it's a mobile game or a desktop, like browser game, that is like kind of a choose your own adventure style game where you're like playing as a spy, which I think communicates more of the tone, because it's a little bit funnier than I think it looks at first. Anyway, so let us know what you think about this transmedia stuff. And Lisa, where can they follow you, or where can they follow Ben Pixels on Twitter?
They can follow at Ben Pixels on Twitter, and don't forget to like this page if you don't already, but you probably do if you're watching this.
That's true.
So there's that. But share with your friends.
Yeah, let's try to do another share challenge if we can. Let's try and get 5 shares on this video, and let people know how informative this was.
That's true. Also, you creators out there with YouTube channels, how many of you are actually going to start using the YouTube mobile live streaming function that you now have access to? That'd be interesting. I
think we'll start. We'll also we're working on creating more content for our YouTube channel. Yeah. So if you have any suggestions or things that you want us to answer questions about directly for our creators, let us know.
Hot tips from this guy. He's good at that.
All the hot tips. So thanks again, Lisa, for jumping on. Thank you, Kevin, for producing this round. And we will see you again next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
See ya.
See ya.